Imagine as we picture this, beginning with verse 26, we can understand why that Simon of Cyrene was needed to carry the cross. For by the way, between the wall to Golgotha was about 650 yards uphill. Think 6.5 football fields uphill. Jesus is supposed to carry that cross up there. I can imagine why he would need some help. So verse 26, when they led him away, they seized a man, Simon of Cyrene, coming in from the country, and placed on him the cross to carry behind Jesus. 2 others also, who were criminals, were being led away to be put to death with him. When they came to the place called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right and the other on the left. Now let's talk about crucifixion. As difficult as that is. And I'm leaving out an awful lot here. I'm just giving you a few things. By the way, the cross arm that he would have carried weighed about over 100 pounds. It would have been tied to his back. It was not plain lumber, but it was hewn, it was rough hewn. And imagine the pain of him trying to carry that up the hill. So he gets up the hill. When we hear about the nails, they weren't nails like we think of nails. They were spikes. They were square. They were about 7 inches long. They were driven into the center of the wrist. Now, the ancients included the wrist in the hand. When they talked about the hand, they also included the wrist. So it wasn't, this would not be able to support his weight. It was here. And let's put it this way. There's no more tender place on the body than to put a spike through that. The left foot would have been placed over the right foot. The nail would have been driven through the large tarsal bones of feet. The victim was crucified with knees and arms slightly bent. The usual cause of death in a crucifixion was asphyxiation, because he's having to raise himself up to be able to breathe. Every time he breathes, he's having to push on that nail, that spike that his legs are nailed to, just so he can breathe. How he could talk on the cross is just beyond imagination. The victim on the cross would have to push up to exhale. To push up, he'd have to push on the nail. Any position would be extremely painful. After a while, the pectoral muscles in the chest would become paralyzed, so the victim could not breathe out. So basically, he would suffocate. The muscles in the legs and arms would become cramped. Think about if you've ever had a Charley horse, how painful that can be just for an instant, but think about one where you could never get relief from it. This doctor said it would have taken Jesus a great deal of effort to speak. And it's significant, he says, that the first 3 of the 7 saints of Christ on the cross were in concern for others.